Well then, here it is. Oh yes, Savage Worlds indeed, as promised. Right. As I said at the show before, Savage Worlds, the Explorers Edition. As you might notice, and I will come into this book very shortly, the Solomon Kane and Savage Worlds. I'm sure you can see the quite marked size difference between the two. Now then, some of you may think, oh my god, it's a softback, that is just pathetic. And others of you may think, well, shit, how much information can there be in there? Well, the answer to that would be everything you need, alright? Basically, there are certain role-playing systems called generic role-playing systems, and what this means, they're not generic, but they are systems specifically designed for you to run whatever the hell you want to run. Completely. Now then, basically, Savage Worlds takes a very much more cinematic approach. In fact, its actual sort of slogan is fast, furious, fun. Any way you look at it, there's a lot there. That's 3 Fs that could possibly bomb. But having said that, for my money, it does not bomb at all. So basically, you got this at one end, Savage Worlds. At the other end, you've got GURPS on your more realistic end, really. Well, right, some people may argue with that, but that's what I think at present, so take that one with a pinch of salt. But somewhere in the middle, you've got then the basic role-playing system, also known as BRP, obviously, upon which Cthulhu and RuneQuest are basically run. Those are the two that basically use that system as a publication. Actually, is that Cthulhu or Cthulhu, or I know that everybody calls it Cthulhu, but whatever, doesn't matter really, does it? Now, first things first, what you find inside this book, it is a full colour publication, which kicks ass. The contents page is basically your index at the front of the book, which is awesome. Chapter 1 deals with character creation. Chapter 2 deals with gear that you might have come across. Chapter 3, game rules, which are extensive. Chapter 4, arcane backgrounds and magic. Chapter 5, situational rules such as hazards, mounts, experience, ammo, blah blah blah. And then you get the Games Master section, which is basically all to do with introducing new players to the game, creating worlds, new edges and hindrances you might want to put in. Basically, it's your building guide of how to create your own adventures and your own worlds, should you want to. And there's even a small section with monsters and things. It is small, you know, it's nothing to write home about. And there's a little mini scenario in the back, just to get you into the game. And I mean, quite frankly, you know, the actual system itself is built to be very simple. But don't take simple to mean... No, perhaps that's the wrong word. Perhaps what I should have said is, the game system has been built to be very fast. And what I perhaps should have said is, but that doesn't mean simple. That's better. The whole point about it is that when you look through this book, you realise there's a hell of a lot of depth in this. You know, some of the game mechanics are... Well, quite frankly, I mean, for my money, the way it actually handles the game mechanics, anybody can pick up. Essentially, there's one target number, 4. If you roll a 4 or higher, you pass. Simple as that, because your skills are derived from D4 to D12. So in other words, and as an average blokey in sort of the world, I might be shooting a gun, I roll a D6 to shoot the gun. And if I get a 4 or more, then I pass. If I get 1 to 3, then I fail. That's fine. The system also uses... yes, what does the system use? That's a good question. The system uses a card-based initiative, i.e. you get a standard deck of 54 playing cards, Jokers are wild. I'll explain later. I'm not really going to explain this in detail, actually. I said this would be a review. It's really not. It's going to be more a general outline of the system. But that's great, because the other thing the system does brilliantly is it cuts down on bookkeeping. In fact, give me a moment. I was actually out playing the Savage Worlds of Solomon Kane last night. No, that's not one, because one of my players spilled something on the character sheet. So you probably don't want to see that one. No, you don't want to see that one either, because his handwriting is almost bloody illegible. You know, this is where preparation comes in awesome. Right, yes. We were playing, as I said, in the Savage Worlds of Solomon Kane. I'll explain that in my next video. But yes, just because I find this is awesome, it's set in the 1600s, so religion rules. Here we have Casavia Dara, born on December the 4th, 1547, in the year of our Lord, in the lands of England, apparently, well, sorry, she's done this wrong. Casavia Dara, born on December the 4th, in the year of our Lord, 1547, in the lands of England, do hereby swear that this is a true accounting of my knowledge and abilities, and that I have not borne false witness about any item contained herein, upon my honour and the honour of my fellow countrymen. And that is all this text here at the top of the character sheet, which, quite frankly, if you actually bring in flavour of the world into the character sheet, that kicks ass. Right, now then, as you can see, we have, excuse my wandering finger because it's quite difficult. Here we have the attributes. They are a bit hard to see, but as you can see on the page, listed from D4 on this side to D12 on this side, right? Now, the whole point is you start with 5 attribute points, and all the attributes start at D4, and you simply put your points in there, right? Simple as that. Then over here, you got your derived stats, blah, blah, then you got skills, and over here, you've got edges. It's that simple. That is the character sheet. Most people, and you've got sections for gear and powers and trappings, and at the bottom, this sort of line here at the bottom here. If I can get my finger to actually fucking work. There we go. You see, that line is there for experience. It's such a simple system. Every 5 XP nets you a level up, essentially. We can gain a new edge, or a new attribute, 2 new skills, whatever. And, actually the combat itself works a lot like D&D. It's definitely a system that's designed for a battle mat. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, it's simply a laminated mat, which you can use water-soluble pens. Water-soluble. Not permanent. Permanent wrecks them. Water-soluble. I learnt that the hard way. Anyway, yeah, use water-soluble pens to basically map out very simply. It is very simple. Terrain. At first I was really daunted by this as a novice GM, and I was thinking, well, how can I spend the time just to find this while all the players are waiting to do stuff? But you know what, players are just there to have fun, so they don't mind if they wait. And not only that, it's like when you realise, well, all they really need is a hill. There's some trees on the hill, and there's some rocks down here for cover. Bang! Here's a cemetery. Okay, well, there's a path that winds up to the cemetery, and then there's fencing around the side. There's the crypt entrance at the back, and tombstones in the cemetery. It's that simple. You don't need to be bloody. Well, perhaps Picasso's a bad choice, but Leonardo da Vinci to actually get all this stuff on paper. If that's the right analogy, I'm not entirely sure, but whatever. Anyway. Besides the point, but yes, as I was saying, and now it's buried under said sodding character sheet. Well, personally, this cost me at the November Game Convention in Manchester £7. Right, £7. It's portable. It's very, very compact. It does not treat you like an idiot. It's very concise and to the point, but fun in its style. It gives you exactly the information you need. If anything, my fault trying to understand the system was I was actually trying to overcomplicate it, and it doesn't need overcomplicating at all. In point of fact, just as a little wayward thing, the Serenity role-playing game that I reviewed several months back, in actual fact, basically the Serenity's system is exactly the same as Savage Worlds, just completely overcomplicated, which is why it doesn't work. So, if I ever go back and actually run Serenity again, it will be on Savage Worlds, and I'll just slightly edit it, because that's the other beauty of the system. It's so customizable. It's brilliant. Yeah, but as you can probably tell, I can't say enough about this. It's a company that launched it. It's called Pinnacle Entertainment. They're a relatively quite small company. They're not on par with Wizards of the Coast, so you don't buy this and expect to find crap loads of adventures. There are quite a few out there, but don't buy this and expect to be led along by the hand. Regardless, I'll go into more the system and whatnot in my review of Solomon Kane, which is coming up next. And otherwise, I shall catch you for Solomon Kane, because I'm running out of time, so there you go. Catch you then. Cheers. I won't be long.